How you doing, everybody? Hey, John and Truth Fears. Oh boy, I've been I've been trying to think of something that all watch collectors agree on, and I think about the only thing I can think of right now is that we all get in trouble with our wives at one time or another. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Well, if you're single, that may be different, or your wife is a watch collector, I suppose. Anyway, hi Mark, how you doing? So what is news? Oh, we had after our meeting yesterday at 4 o'clock, we had the bear came back. So anyway, uh, so the bear came back and he came up the stairs and greeted everybody and took off again. Hi, David. Yeah, I bet you did. Hey, Tennessee. Oh boy. Hey, did you guys see the review of Healer's collection? And I really like that collection. I also know that he's not a snob about stuff. He finds delight in all kinds of different watches, like we do, I think. Okay, so let's see if we can come up with something. Hi, Donald. How you doing? Uh, yeah. Oh, anyway. Hi, Clyde. How you doing? Um, Man, I tell you, today I've got to really after half an hour I got to go because my wife thought it'd be a good idea to do. I have to go out and do some yard work. Why don't you do it after your video? And I thought, okay, put anything that put off yard work. Oh, hi, Mark Ann. How you doing? Hi, Val. Troth fears. Is that it? Hi, Eddie. Okay, so let's get to work on this topic. Can you think of one thing that every watch collector you've ever met agrees on? I mean, one thing like it's not going to be the best watch. I can tell you that. I can't imagine them ever doing that. The most affordable watch, the most lots of different things, and so we're just thinking, well, I wonder what it would be if there is anything. Um, okay, come on. I need some wisdom from this. You guys are, talking about all kinds of things. Wristwatches are useless nowadays, but we still love them. No, that's a good one. That's very true. Um, I don't know if they're totally useless. See, we can't agree on anything, Val. Everyone can agree more Moser Perpetual is great. Believe me, I wish they would, but that's not true. One thing we don't have enough money. Well, yeah, that's a good one, Mark. We need more money, more watch money. Uh, Quality of movement matters. David, that's a good one. Naturally, I agree with that. I wonder if there are a lot of people, what they what they seem to do is no matter what movement they have, they'll say it's a really good one. Um, they all agree that they're looking for their Grail watch. Yeah, everyone's looking for a Grail watch. None of the Grail watches seem to be the same. but that's a good one. When having spare time, don't go see what's new. Yeah, yeah, I know. Uh, a friend said, "I don't need a world time watch." I told him he doesn't need a diver since he can't swim. He can't. Yeah, I know, especially now because I want a world timer. And there's some other, I still want to have a good sports watch that is, I can just sort of wear anywhere kind of watch. I have my Seiko. This is sort of my jumper. It jumps in and cleans out nuclear, pipes and things like that, and does all the yard work. But just a sort of a regular guy kind of, regular guy for me, uh, kind of sports watch. Maybe a chronograph. And I've thought of there are a lot of different ones that I like, and I've been looking at. Same thing for a world timer. Um, you know, Usually, about this time of year, we'll either be planning a cruise or getting back from one. But this year, it's not going to happen. Possibly not next year either, depending on how the whole thing goes. Anyway, um, yeah, we agree they're most overpriced. I think we take that as a fact, and I think we also agree that we don't have a brainer in our head when it comes to spending money on watches. The idea that we'll ever be satisfied and stop searching for a grail. Yeah, that's another one, Clyde. That's a good one. A friend said, "I don't need a world." Okay, you're right. Um, there's no ending for that. That is true. Everybody at some point will think about buying a Rolex. Yeah, that's a good one. Um, I don't know if think is the right word. Let's see. Um, Agree that most are overpriced. I think so too. Seiko 5, yes. Goes for 40 years. Get a sin. David, you're not the only one that was talking about I've got to get a sin. I don't know why. I like sins, but um, they're okay. I guess that's the same way I feel about Rolexes. I like them just fine, but other than three of them, um, I just don't see the appeal. Um, I like the Prince. More, I've been thinking about the Prince, man. Boy, that's a good one. Um, I don't know. I'll have to see. Hi, Tippy. Sin is the most legible watch of all times. Okay. Um, let's see. You got Tippy, Sin is good, and then no, no, no. No Rolex or X-Lax. All right. Zune, not Sin. All right. Hey, how you doing, Eric? How are things in Sweden? I hope you guys are in good shape. Hey, MP Max, the Jodhpur hunting watch from Sin is nice. Wow, that sounds like a nice one. I never thought about buying a Rolex, not because I don't think they're a good watch, it's because I've never seen one I like. I I've seen lots that I like, but I tell you, any one watch brand, you have all kinds of different things going on. It depends on the state of your collection. If for example, if I had one chronograph, which I sort of do with my monoretro pump, but I mean, I don't know, just sort of what I consider a regular chronograph. Um, it's the wrong kind of goat, Eddie. Killer Tech on Sin. Killer Tech. Is it? I don't know about that. Aren't they, most of them? I don't think they make their own movement, do they, Mike? I like them, but I mean, it's not. From what I understand, that most of them are running on Solitas right now. Oh man. Um, oh, yeah. I would say they're, I don't know, here you have, I tell you, the nice thing about a Rolex, you don't have to think about it. I don't, I, d- Rolex owners seem to, well, you don't have to think, what are you going to get next? Well, I'll just get another Rolex. That's okay. Sin is not about the movement beauty. Well, that's important to me, Tippy. Another thing I think all watch collectors agree on is you should spend the majority of dally time with your watch collection than your wife. Ooh, that's a dangerous one, Mark. Hey, now, Sid, how you doing? Daily. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Huh, Dolly. I was thinking of those watches that are flopping off of trees when I think of Salvador Dali's paintings. I own two sports Rolexes. I'm allowed to make fun of them. You know, you don't have to make fun of them. That's the other thing too. A lot of people, if they've got to, sort of poo-poo something if they don't have it or they don't want it. Um, I I just enjoy the watches for themselves. Um, One of the things I've talked about is that one of the things none of us should do, and for good reason, is that you see somebody else's collection and you're jealous of it. Well, that's crazy. I mean, because I think a really good collection like the one that we had today with the Healer's collection, those watches run over half $500,000 a piece, and it's probably not something that's in my in my purview, but it doesn't mean I can't really enjoy them, and not have to pay for them and not have to get in trouble with my wife. God, I spent a $500,000 on. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that you can enjoy all different kinds of levels, and and I think that's important. If there are a lot of watches I would like to have, but I can't afford. I mean, a whole lot that I can't. But that doesn't mean that I should be jealous of someone who does. Instead, I find another way to have fun with watches, like my project to try to get resonance out of two 6498s. That's a that's a slow project right now. Uh, Rolex was designed to market to lower middle classes to think themselves as upper class. Okay. We had our last snow 2 weeks ago. Yeah, man. Well, but Sweden's supposed to have snow all year round, Eric. Oh, I was there a few years ago. Uh, oh, okay. Yes, yes. Mark, how much more are you pushing for? Let me Where are you? Oh, you got a negotiation going. Those are exciting. That's a lot of fun. You may end up with a really good watch too. I can't buy a Rolex now because of your comment. Not me. I didn't say anything about Rolexes. How about we prefer wearing our leather straps in cooler weather and metal bands in hotter weather? I only have one metal band, and I got to get the stem fixed on it. So, this is, but my Seiko 5 has a textile band. Sort of looks like it's made out of, I don't know, text something, some kind of, I don't know, it's like tent fabric or something. Uh, like putting a capsule in their watch and is to tap water vapor and making their own special oil to make the movement last way longer. And what is that, Tippy? I think every watch collector should have a watch timeout, like I plan for the next 10. watch that have clicked with me. List may change, but after 10, I am done. Okay. All right. You know, either the 10 or, well, maybe if I buy 10 more and then I sell two of them, it's okay to get another one. In fact, it's okay to get two more. Maybe three if I make some money. I don't know. Hi, Sean. And dog. uh, you have to read the Technology and Sin website. No, I don't, Tippy. You're going to tell it to me. You get to read it to me. I don't have to read anything. I'm tired of reading. I want to see some good stuff. You know, is that the way to, if you read, I wish we had sort of like a scientific journal of watch review, that somebody who was totally objective, who has a, let's see, some kind of degree in mechanical engineering, watch engineering, could have an analysis that was totally free from any bias one way or the other. And I would love to have something like that. But the problem is that virtually every journal, and everything has some kind of financial interest to fudge things one way or the other. Now, if you're in competition, if watch A and watch B are in competition with each other, they may snipe at one another. But really, I don't see that. It's sort of like, can you think of any watch company that said anything bad about another watch company or another make? Maybe there's some implications that you have to miss. Hi, Williams watches. Let's see. Damasco watch cases are just awesome. I wish they had better movements compared to Sen. Doesn't Sen have Solitas and ETAs in them? I didn't know that Sen made their own movements. Is this something new? Or the thing I like about the fact Sen is that they tell you what's in them. A good thing about them. Okay, you see, you guys aren't agreeing about Damasco, or how you pronounce it, Damasco, or I don't know. Any watch could become boring to you eventually. The Daytona had a 7750 modified movement. I didn't know that. I thought they had a uh, El Primero one at one time. I'm doing, and not tonight. I had a pizza and chips. Okay. Hey, Nick, how you doing? Sin uses top grade ETA. Okay. Nick, tell me, are they still able to get the ETAs? Because I know that most other companies have switched from ETAs over to Solita because, or is Sin's not owned by Swatch, are they? Good thing about Sin is that they don't break. Oh, that is a good thing. Sin modify the movement for chronograph subdial placement. Okie doke. Now okay. Damasco now has an in-house movement. Sin doesn't tick any boxes for me aesthetically, etc. Only Tudor did. Okay, let's see. In England, it's what are you? All right, let's see. Curry of pizza. Wow, I love curry. Having a curry pizza. Boy, that sounds like fun. Is this a result of having to be locked in for a while? It's, let's see. Hey, Nick, there you are. Okay. an ex IWC engineer. Uh-oh. Yeah, they're probably pretty good with ETAs. They just rename them. Let's see. Damasco. Bruce, I don't know Damasco. Are they? It sounds like a Japanese company. Sin is what Rolex used to be, a real tool watch to beat up. No one would really use a Rolex as a tool watch anymore. You want to bet? Okay, let's see. Look at the history of Daytonas and the cosmograph. The Zenith movement was wearing out too fast. They went towards the 7750 afterwards. I didn't know that, John. Thank you. Damasco. Oh, okay. I know Damasco. Um, yeah, I was in this little town in Germany. I forgot the name of it, and they had a big Damasco shop, and my wife caught me before I got in the door, so that was that for Damasco. I got to find out more about them. They sound interesting. Um, they're like Cinelot. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I still think that the Rolex that Roger Smith is has that what's it called? The coaxial movement. It was one of the coaxials, one of the Rolexes that George Daniels put a coaxial in to try to get the Rolex to take it. Of course, they didn't, which is wow. Okay, Val, well, you just gave a good reason to find out more about Damasco. Okay, let's see. Always have done growing up with an Indian mother, everything got curried, Bill. Oh man, I tell you, I love curry. In fact, I love Indian food. Um, that's of course I love all food. That's my problem. Love food. Um, both Damasco and Sim use submarine grade steel in their watches. All right. Um, I think I saw Sin's ad for that for one of their watches I was learning about. And it said it uses submarine on it. That it's sort of like FP Jorn uses a Holland and Holland steel. He loves gunmetals and using sub steel. Where do they get it? Where do they go? You know, he said you go to a German submarine company and you have all these holes in their subs where sin came and they'll cut one out. Let's go use it. I don't know where they get all that submarine metal from. Oh, hey Andreas, how you doing? There's an Andreas. You don't have to purchase expensive watch to be considered a watch collector. No, you don't. You simply have to be certified as nuts. That's all you have to do to be a real watch collector. Watch companies are a bit loose in their fidelity movement. A loose, my God, I tell you. No kidding. Yeah, I tell you, I have eaten in Indian restaurants in England. Trying to think, the I tell you one thing, I like English breakfasts though, bangers and mash and beans. I had those; those are pretty good. The thing that they have the edible food in England, I think, are the those little you get them at they're like I don't know what they would call them empanadas in Mexico, but they're little cakes of and they'll have different meat and beans and stuff in them. They're pretty good. Let's see. Hey, that's something we can agree on. We're all nuts. Spending is what we do on archaic technology that we really don't need. Oh, every watch collector has to own a G-Shock. Well, I can't. I mean, a G-Shock would be nice, but um, I got to pass on a G-Shock. I'm sorry. That's a pretty good one, though. Um, I think if you're a rock climber, a G-Shock would be a good thing to have. But boy, I tell you, I read a thing lately. At least there were so many people who killed themselves climbing rocks, and they had a big story on this guy, and he climbs it with his fingers like a fly. He goes up the side of a rock. Well, something slipped one day, and down he went, and that was the end of him. And I hear a lot of people do that. Uh, I don't know. I'm not a mountain climber or a rock climber, but it's different strokes and all of that. I tell you, Mark, you don't need a certification. I tell you, the fact that you collect watches is that. Let's see. At least our technology does not age. Andreas, that's a good point. That's a really good point. I like that. Yeah, my technology doesn't age. It's just the same technology, and it's better loved, and I think that's worth something. Every watch collector should buy their watches like without being shamed for their choice. That's just good manners. I mean, it's okay to be nuts. It's not okay to be rude. I don't think, or a jerk. We have to avoid that. I'm envious of your Langenheim. Well, you shouldn't be. You should go get one. Let save up and don't eat and take out something. Um, I was checking my cherry tree, and we have these two big cherry trees that, man, those things grew. They must be 50 feet now of a big cherry tree, and they have these Bing cherries. But every year something happens to them. I think the critters get them before we do. But man, I tell you, this year we're having a bumper crop and everything, and I'm convinced we've had such clean air that all of the bugs that help the trees and all of the blossoms, just amazing spring that we've had here. So sort of the upside of a pandemic. One of the things you're talking about, and I'm beginning to see it more and more. They're talking that when this thing is over, that things aren't going to go back to the same. They are changing, and they were talking about the way office space is used and how people are. More people are going to be working from home with the option to go into work. Like some people, I'll go in 3 days, and I'll go in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and sort of have a nice long weekend or whatever they want. And I think the going to work, one of the nice things for going to work when I was before I retired was going to lunch with friends and colleagues and stuff like that, and just sort of shooting a breeze. And I think a good, if you're in a good working situation, if you work with a bunch of jerks, it's probably better to do it from home. Or you have one of those things. They had a couple movies on horrible bosses. Um, Nothing worse than a horrible boss. The last ones I've had for about the last, I don't know, really about almost, I would say the last 18 years of my job, I had dream bosses. They were just great. And, for most of my career, I had pretty good bosses. Namely, uh, they just let me do what I wanted to do and everything worked out. But I know that, working from home, um, a lot of the work I did was remotely. You write a book, you get your publisher in New York. When I was in California, that's remote. And so, with watches, I think that more and more we're going to see that. Uh, One of the things that I was asked about is how do you learn how to trust somebody selling you a watch? I was talking to Mark and Eddie about that. And that's sort of an interesting thing. On the first luxury watch, I bought a Patek Philippe from this guy in Houston, Texas, and I didn't know anything about him. He was sort of it wasn't one of the big shops like uh, Govberg or anything like that. It was just this guy who's selling watches. I I wired him money, and one of the things that my bank made me do, they said, "Look, you have to have a physical address for this guy, otherwise we won't wire it." So I contacted him and I told him, I said, "Look, I need a physical address, otherwise I'm not going to wire the money." And he provided it, and that was one thing that I was thinking. You can find out where if you have to, I'd go down there and shake the guy's tree if he ran off with my money. But in order to do that, you've got to have a clear identity. I think it's a little easier with a business where you have a watch business going on. Individuals is a lot dicier, I think. And I've known enough people who've gotten burned by really unscrupulous people. And I think I've run into some myself, but I've got my squeaky socks rules. If there's something undefinable that's just wrong about a deal, walk away. It's funny. I've been reading Robinson Crusoe still. I'm almost finished with it. And this was written back in, God, I think it came out like in 1719 or something, a long time ago. But this guy is talking about squeaky socks too in his own way. He was talking about these people who he could trust and how he did it. And he said it was like they didn't use the term paranoia back then, but he was talking about something about him that was just wrong. And he said to learn how to spot it and trust it. And maybe you're wrong. Maybe somebody's perfectly good person, and you have there's something wrong with this person, or the other way around, that somebody, oh, that's really a good guy, he likes berets, so he must be honest. Be careful. Oh, let's see. Oh, whoa, it's over. Does anyone know of any buyer's fees when you purchase from Chrono 24 using a credit card? Just my stupid bank. I'll tell you, Mark, my bank charged me big time. And so and then I was going to go have words with them. And then this whole thing with the pandemic came and I couldn't. Hey, David, how you doing? Oh boy. Okay. Well, listen, guys, I got to run. I got to go do yard work. Not something I'm looking real forward to, but I have to. So everybody be safe and take care. Hasta mañana.